Thank you very much, Ivona, for your kind introduction. I'm very honored to be here today with you and to talk about the challenges of professional development in teaching and learning in higher education. I would like to address uh, four questions. Why continuous professional development in teaching and learning is necessary? Why do we do that? Which teaching competencies and teaching attitudes are found important? How to organize continuous professional development in teaching and learning, and how can we support continuous professional development in an international context? So let's start with the first question. Why? Well, it is obvious the world changes. Our students are confronted in their future with difficult questions. Already now we see how big our tasks are, and they need to get the education of the highest quality possible to be able to cope with that, and given by the excellent teaching staff. I'm sure that you all agree with that. And for this, continuous professional development in teaching and learning is indispensable. Also, universities, I mean, also others agree with that. The universities, European Universities Association, published in 2021, and USCD in 2019, how universities should be in 2030, and what kind of competence and skills are needed for 2030. I think that we need it now already, but it's good to have such a vision. So in 2030, they said that universities should be engines of societal change, open, transformative, transnational, sustainable, diverse, engaged, and that we should have all learner-centered education to provide knowledge, competencies, and values. And for that, the different competencies are necessary. Creative thinking, system thinking, critical thinking, computational thinking, judgment and decision making. And last but not least, they have to be creative and have an innovative mindset. You will agree that lifelong learning, how to teach this and how to activate students for learning is incredibly important, is indispensable. Well, I think that many of you who are here today agree with that, so I don't need to tell you, but there are some challenges because some people still think that CPD is not necessary. And it is because our lecturers, in particular in research universities, their performance and their career growth is dependent on the research. And also, many of our teaching staff still have some kind of teacher-centered teaching beliefs, and they like lecturing very much. So doing traditional ways is just fine for them. And also the managers research performance is most important. I am talking about the institute's managers. And what is also important, of course, for the university are satisfied students and high enough pass rate. But satisfied students is not always the same as having learned a lot. So when we have kind of situation, the students are satisfied and we have high enough pass rates, then actually some managers protect lecturers from innovation of teaching and participation in CPD activities in order to have more time for the research. sometimes bring more money for that. Our institutions, I'm talking for University of Amsterdam, but we are. I was visiting many universities, and I didn't see so much differences. We have all organization processes that are still fit quite much to the traditional way of teaching, and our rooms, especially rooms for big groups of students, are mostly organized for the more adapted for traditional teaching, like this, right? So you also maybe have somewhere in your department this kind of rooms, and this is not really supporting the new teaching methods that develop students learning from the activating perspective. It is not so black and white, of course, and I'm sure that, well, the way how we were looking around with our research, we have seen that universities don't agree with that. Universities think that professional development is important, and in many institutional visions, actually everywhere, I think universities organize professional development activities. However, they are usually general pedagogically trainings, and that all lecturers from all disciplines are together somewhere away from their working place, and but it happens, and it's good that we have this kind of activities. There is even there are even some national agreements. I'm happy to come from the Netherlands, where we have compulsory university teaching qualification for all teaching staff, from associated professor to full professor, already from 2008. And all universities have signed a mutual recognition of UTQ certificates. This is very nice, and this helps really a lot. However, after the teachers achieve UTQ, it is up to them, up to lecturers, to CPD or not to CPD after that. It's also what would be very nice, and that to have international alliances to internationally recognize teaching competencies, because we know that researchers, lecturers are also moving around, changing from university to university, but unfortunately, it doesn't exist yet. It is not so black and white as I'm giving it here, that nothing happens. And however, there is also some literature, quite a lot, that say that professional development is not really effective. I cannot agree with that. I think that is very much dependent on how you organize it. And I was coordinating professional development at our faculty for 15 years, and we have organized it person-centered, tailor-made, and teaching practice oriented. So it means that we have our participants of our program have to prepare a portfolio in which they present their course, the course design. They have to didactically argue the structure and improve it, and they also have to reflect on their practice. So we were interested how this works, and somewhere around 8 years after that the program was running. We took that cohort from 2014 2015, and it was 61 participants, and we checked how did they learn, how this group was doing at that time, and then looked 5 years later how they are doing then, what happened. And we found the effects. So we found that in their reflection, immediately after they achieved the certificate, their opinion was that they improved, developed the competencies in teaching, course design, and professional approach. And they all indicated that they intended to develop further. This was really a great to see, and 37% of them developed new interest to develop on more curricular level, not so much on the course level, but on the curricular level. We interviewed 5 of these persons after 5 years, so in 2020, and we've seen that they have developed in the same directions as they indicated 5 years ago. And several developed even more than that, which was really amazing to see. They achieved more certificates somewhere, and they were involved in education innovation. Also, we asked them what was for them the most important factor to be able to develop further. And they found that this was the positive institutional culture, support of their peers, and support of the program directors. It was also very interesting to see that from the personality, from the teaching beliefs of these persons, these lecturers, the more student-centered or more ambitious to develop than the more teacher-centered. We have published a paper about that if you want to read more in 2022 in teaching and teacher education. Well, there are more challenges that make difficult to organize professional development activities. For example, the students. It is very interesting. In 2019, the laureates published a paper measuring actual learning versus feeling of learning in response to being actively engaged in the classroom. So the students have their own feeling and expectation about how they learn and what they learn. And this group tested the student knowledge when they were in the passive learning settings and they were in the active learning settings. And as you see on this picture, the students had better results when they were in the active learning settings than when they were in the passive learning settings. However, their experience, their feelings were quite the opposite. So they enjoyed the passive learning setting more. They felt like they learned more when they were in the passive learning setting. And they also found that the instructor was more effective in the passive learning setting than in the active learning setting. So when they had to answer the question, what would you like to have? I wish all my physics courses were taught this way. So they said more of them chose for the for the passive learning setting. So this has quite an impact. This fact has quite an impact on how students are. I mean, what can we do? What can we do in professional development as well? Well, these researchers also showed that students confused. Supposed that students confuse more cognitive effort with active classrooms being more disjointed, more messy, more chaotic, also having lack of flow because there are interruptions with several activities. And many students also are having a beliefs that the teacher's role is to tell and show. And they have to teach us, and not we have to learn us ourselves. The students also give appreciation, and evaluation are often higher for passive learning. And this has an influence on the teachers, on the lecturers. They also fall back to passive lecturing, and some of them don't even start. The next thing is also that the lecturers believe that active learning means much more work for the teacher. The management and institutions are interested in having satisfied students. And satisfied students means good course and everything is fine, and it is important for accreditations and all kinds of sort of things. And so again, as I said before, they don't stimulate teachers for teaching innovation if there is no signalized problem. They don't need to go to develop their teaching skills if there are no complaints. And as I showed already, the big students group are put into the traditional big lecture theaters. Also, this is not black and white. All this is not in all universities like that. At the university in George Washington in the United States, they have abolished all lectures, and they use now only scale-up method. This is a method where students are working in a flat room together in large groups. Professor Gerald Feldman was visiting University of Amsterdam in this semester, and he was teaching quantum physics together with our lecturers and our teaching assistants. And at the George Washington University, his group is 81 students. Our group was 130 students, so we did it in two groups. And it was one lecturer, 2 to 3 teaching assistants. The students worked in groups of 3 and were using small whiteboards. And the method that Professor Feldman, or Scale Up, is using is teaching by questioning. And it is about conceptual questions. So it's, as you can see on this picture, it is highly active, interactive, and I can assure you it was a great fun. We asked the students who were in this course to tell us, how did you feel about the active learning settings? So they had to evaluate the classical tutorial session, which about 30 students and 1 teaching assistant. This is the concept, the setting that is most usual at our faculty. So we have big lectures, and then in the usual courses, we have big lectures for the whole group, and then students are split into the groups of about 30 students and one teaching assistant. And then we had in this quantum physics course, we have one tutorial session with 70 students, but there was a lecturer and two to three teaching assistants walking around. And in these two sessions, it was the most usual approach they use is that the students get the assignments for the whole 2 hours, and then they are working on their own. They are allowed to work in groups, and if they have a question, they raise their hand and somebody comes to help them. Well, Scale Up is completely different. It is with questioning and discussions, and after every assignment, there is a discussion, a central discussion, and presentation of the groups. So it was very interesting to see that I was very glad that 69% of students found this method, Scale-Up method, very effective. 42% of students find the method where with a large group also effective, and 47% of students like the traditional tutorial group effective. So it is not only one picture, more things can be effective, but it was great to see that students valued this strong interactive approach. When we would like our lecturers to use active learning teaching and support students in learning, then they need the competencies for that. So our question was which teaching competencies actually are important. In general, you will agree that teaching staff need to support students in learning to achieve knowledge and skills, have teaching competencies and teaching attitudes for providing effective education in a concrete study program, not just abstractly. And it works well for adult learners if they learn what they need at that moment. So not for 5 years in ahead, but at that very moment. And in my experience, bottom up and with top down support is what works here well. And I would like to show you some reasons, some examples of that. We wanted to define what lecturers need to learn, and in the project STEM CPD at uni, which was led by Professor Maciejowska, in the collaboration of 5 universities and a European chemistry thematic network. When we started the project, we asked ourselves, so what our lecturers in Europe think that the lecturers need to learn, need to know. And we created a questionnaire with 66 statements of about competencies, attitudes, and activities, continuous professional development activities that might be effective. And we asked the lecturers and educational managers to look from 2 perspectives. What is the general importance, and what is the personal practice and personal or program practice that they experience in their practice. So I ask you now to think about what do you think that is the most are the most few competencies that all the lecturers should have. So I give you a few seconds, and then I will show you what we have found in our roadmap survey. Yeah, you have it? So let's see what 420 lecturers from 26 countries and 46 managers from 11 countries said. They said that the most important competence is develop critical thinking by students. So the students develop their critical thinking, and then they engage and arouse interest for the discipline in the class, give prompt feedback, and define intended learning outcomes for every course they teach. There was no big difference, actually no difference between the educational managers and lecturers. They agreed also about these competencies, as you see. And what was also nice to see that the discrepancy between general and personal or program is positive, which means that it is meaningful and worthwhile to develop these competencies because we are not yet there. The attitudes that they found important are inspire a positive attitude in their class, be reflective teachers, use students' evaluation for improving courses, and be interested in students' progress. So I hope that you agree also that these competencies are, these attitudes are important for good teaching. If we want to do that, how can we organize continuous professional development in teaching and learning to achieve that? Well, in our opinion, also in that project, STEM CPD at Uni project, we were quite sure that local needs and possibilities are the challenges, but also the opportunities to organize a meaningful professional development that should have discipline focus, should be workplace related and tailor-made, so that really you learn what you need to learn, but fit to your course. In co-creation, because in certain situation we are at a certain point we are experts that need to work together, discipline experts and experts in education. And the principle is that we also have to do the professional development in learner-centered way. So this is how we designed our STEM CPD framework, being bottom up and with the top down support. We also introduced CPD ambassador principle. So it means that we would like to educate lecturers and program directors who want to improve teaching and help them to become CPD ambassadors, return home and organize their professional development activities and improve exactly in the way that is necessary for their local context. We have published the framework, so you can find it online and you can read it. So the question is how we organize this kind of schooling for the CPD ambassadors. We have organized 3 summer schools up to now. 2 of them were in the project, STEM CPD at Uni project, and the 3rd one was already after the project, and we showed that summer school can be sustainable, and we are going to continue with that. So you see here on this picture, these are all new CPD ambassadors I'm also a CPD ambassador, and I'm very proud of that. So how the STEM CPD summer school are structured? What is the model? The model is the COLP adapted cycle, which starts with a concrete experience. The CPD ambassador, future CPD ambassadors, bring their own local challenges, and they work on it through the whole summer school. They do group work, discussions, workshops are organized for them for the abstract conceptualization, and they have an active experimentation by developing a user case. So every participant of our summer schools have to prepare a user case which they bring back to their local university, to their university, and implement professional development activities. Up to now, we have 50 CPD ambassadors and 50 CPD user cases, which all follow local needs and address challenges that have high importance in the local context where the CPD ambassador comes from. And what was very nice is to see that the user cases have similar challenges, but they have all their own specific characteristics. They are all learner centers, and it's nice to see that many of them use micro MOOCs for learning. You can find them on Starfish, and you can read them how all these aspects of the user case. We analyzed them, and we've seen that they address relevant topics from for STEM higher education, and also topics that are generally important, and that they are also, as you can see, we have lab teaching, and then you have they come from different universities and also from different countries. So it means that these are general problems, but the way how a user case is designed is fit specifically for the university where it will be used. So this can inspire others to develop a user case for their own university as well. We have analyzed and we have prepared a publication which is accepted in teaching in Chemistry Teacher International. So I hope that within a few months you will be able to read it. We also have looked at the competencies that are developed in the user cases, and it is great to see that they all develop competencies that are relevant, of course, and also that, for example, the competencies that fit to the learning facilitation group are really very often addressed in our user cases. I would like to invite you to join our summer school if you can. There are still a few places left. If you are not yet a CPD ambassador, the deadline for application is June 17, and the participants in our previous summer school were really very satisfied with it and found it very inspiring. So welcome to join and come to Palermo this year, and I hope you will enjoy it too. By next, the last question is how can we support CPD in international context? How can we do that? What are the and actually, why would we do this in international context? One thing that I already mentioned is the summer school, which is in the international context. The participants of our summer school come from very different European countries, but also outside Europe. So it was really nice to see that actually this is a global question that we are addressing here. And we can look at this slide together. I believe that it is extremely important to create a balance of research and teaching in higher education, to be able to really embed professional development in the way that in teaching and learning in the way that will be the best benefit. So it means that we need to move from the research priority of the university, which is now, to the equity and cooperation between education and research. What we often see is that there is education and classes and all fantastic organized and everything works. And then there is research. And maybe, of course, there is a huge connection at the PhD level, but in the courses, in the study programs, there is not really a cooperation between education and research, at least not enough. And what I believe that we need to assure is provide equal opportunity. So need not same opportunities, but equal what we need. And which would means that it will create time for our lectures. This is the most important, because when you don't have time, but the time means priorities, you would agree. We need to organize support, because support leads to more effectiveness. And we only can succeed if we give recognition to the lecturers and give them satisfaction that they have done a really good job. In my 15 years of working on professional development, I've seen so many great lecturers, so many great educators who developed, and but I can say that they should be recognized more. To achieve that, the cooperation and development of new appropriate teaching method is necessary, and not only methods in teaching, but also methods in CPD. This gives us all commitment, but also the leadership that we need in the higher education. You noticed probably that on the right corner on all my slides, there is a logo of European Chemistry Thematic Network and WG Eurolecture Academy. It means Working Group Eurolecture Academy. And for several years already, we have ECTN Working Group Eurolecture Academy, and the last summer school in 2023 and 2024 is also organized by Eurolecture Academy. What is Eurolecture Academy? The Eurolecture Academy Working Group Eurolecture Academy aims to establish an innovative international higher education platform that will actively promote recognition of the continuous professional development of teaching skills, CPD, in higher education and support academics in it in the international context. The goal is, of course, to educate students to succeed in the changing world. So what we wanted to achieve, we have published in the position paper, so welcome to read it. We would like to join together in this Euro Lecturer Academy the people who share common ground beliefs, competencies, which is student-centered learning, inclusive education, and European, or let's say international dimension in teaching and learning. So for those people, we would like to create the possibility to communicate, but also to share their ideas better with others. So we would like to organize or to provide resources for continuous professional development, training, and support. This is actually what we do already from the working group, ECTN working group. So we organize summer school, we organize also webinars, and we have micro MOOCs. But we want to go more further with that and organize knowledge sharing and collaboration. You have seen some knowledge sharing on starfish that we already have coming from the summer school. And we also find very important that there will be some STEM educational research in this field. The participants, I mean the members, the criteria to become a member of Euro Lecture Academy is not only common ground, but also everybody who joins needs to learn, and everybody who joins needs to bring something to learn new things or to provide new ideas. Last but not least important at all is the recognition. So the giving some recognition and certification, we need to find out how and what. So there is a lot of work to do. There is a lot of work to do, and there are dreams. We don't have yet the Euro Lecturer Academy, but we would like to establish it, and the Euro Lecturer Academy will empower international recognition of university teaching competence and will stimulate collaboration in higher education in Europe and wider internationally by CPD ambassadors and Euro Lecturer Academy members. International certification of continuous professional development activities for lecturers and for CPD ambassadors. And we would like to have support and cooperation with different organizations to be strong and to be recognized. In the first place, we are already a part of the ECTN, which has more than 100 STEM universities in it. We would like to have cooperation with European University Association, UKMS, UPAC, and also other organizations that share these thoughts. And also we believe that Erasmus Plus staff exchange grants can support very much the lecturers and program directors who want to operate as CPD ambassadors, or they want to participate in the Euro Lecture Academy when we have it. So this would also make possible to have some support for evidence-based teaching and learning and research. So this is what I prepared for today to tell. I hope that you have some questions. Thank you very much for your attention.